Hi traders, how are you? Vladimir Ribakov here from Traders Academy Club, and welcome to my weekly markets review for the week starting on 26th of November until the 1st of December, the official winter. First of all, before we jump on the chart, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that. I hope you will enjoy the video. I enjoy to create it, and I hope to share with you something new, something interesting, something beneficial, and something that will help you to trade better. If you enjoyed the video, please hit this button below the video. It's a like button. Leave your comments and your feedback. That's really important to me and my team to know how do we perform and how do we help you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you think can benefit from it and can help him or her in their trading. So the first pair we have on the list for today is the euro dollar. This is a very interesting opportunity for us. I've been analyzing that on the previous week, that if we break this trend line, the momentum becomes bullish. Now we bounced from this beautiful zone. We went through here, bounced from these areas, and continuation straight to the next point. Now I want to remind you quickly, the euro dollar is inside this possible range here, which means we are approaching to a critical area, psychological area of the 120. As for now, there are no bearish evidences for this pair, but we are coming to a very critical area where I believe there will be some bounce. It's also making a double wave here and a possible bearish hidden divergence to be formed right on this area, which makes it to be under some bearish pressure on the coming period. If we take a look on the statistical view, we'll figure out that the days that will be critical for this pair will actually be this week, 28, 29, and the 1st, the end of the month and the beginning of the new month. Very critical days, and it should happen on the second part of this week. Now we don't have any bearish evidences for now, so currently every pullback we will get is an opportunity to try and to ride that further. So as for the beginning of the week, it continues to be bullish, but we do need to be very aware of the critical area, and that's anywhere in between the 120 zone and slightly higher. Once we start to get bearish evidences like bearish false break, like bearish candles to start appear in a row in the critical days, it's definitely bearish opportunity. Dollar franc, a pair that we have been selling from previous week, now completing this double cycle. We reached the 38.2, which was the target we were aiming to after this area. The next important possible area to be reached is the 50% of this run. We currently don't have any bullish evidence like false break or like higher highs on the lower time frames to allow this pair to become bullish. Currently nothing is like that. The only thing that is critical here is the 200 moving average, which is for long term could be a one to pay attention to, and the fact that we are aiming to the action zone around the 50%. So I would simply say that this area we are approaching to right now is a very critical zone when I believe that this down move will start to slow down and possibly to reverse. Now if we observe here the statistical data, what we figure out here would be very simply that the end of the month, exactly like with the euro dollar, 28, right? And then we have the third and the first and the third, which the end of the month and beginning of the next month become critical days, right? So yeah, I expect that to slow down, create slowly lower lows and start to create false breaks and higher highs for the coming reversal. So that's what I would expect it exactly like that. And if we go back to the action zones, which we have here, it's opportunity to try and squeeze it a bit more. We also can see that this is a very serious consolidation area where very likely the bears will start to give up slightly. Next one on the list is the pound dollar, and this is what we have on this pair. We had this range, and now it seems we are getting out of it. It happened despite of all the bearish evidence that this pair had, but it never managed to break a trend line, never managed to create lower lows, and if it doesn't give us any reason to be bearish, right? So what happens now is that we are breaking this range a bit, gaining some momentum here, and basically if we go to check the statistics, we can see that there is nothing standing in front of us, just 26, which could cause the short-term retraces, and then very likely the pound dollar can continue all the way higher. So the way I would be trading that is going to the lower time frame, like the 4-hour chart, and we can see that we have a short-term possibility here. That was our range. We get a break above it, right? Now, due to the short-term divergence we have right here, I would expect the pound dollar to create some kind of pullback, but every 2 waves down and every bullish divergence to form on lower time frames, I would start looking for the buy opportunities. We have this trend line, we have this trend line to follow. So as we're getting closer to critical zones, it's time for us to pay attention for possible buys. And of course, we should not forget this beautiful broken line we have. So if we get something like that, it is for us most likely continuation. The only bearish scenario in that case would be if the pound will start to create some kind of false breaks here and then lower lows. That would be a critical scenario to be careful with the sells. As long as it didn't do it for a while now, the momentum remains bullish, and we can see that the next targets are far away from this pair. For this pair. Next one on the list is the euro pound on a daily chart. Now I was very bearish here, and I still am, but we have to be careful here, and I'll explain why, because we might be evidence for one more clearance. Take a look what happens here, guys. We had this range, and this is exactly the reason on the previous week I was selling here, as you remember. But the only thing here that starts to bother me a bit, that not on the daily chart, not on the 4-hour chart, we cannot get yet lower lows. That's what happens. The lows going higher, the highs going higher, right? And that's a kind of a warning sign for us. So yes, I am still bearish, and I think if we clear, we can go and clear here once again, basically. So on the short term, there the rallies can go and continue. Let's go back here. The rallies can go and continue, especially as it holds this trend line. We can slowly go and squeeze this area one more time, maybe to do even double cycle here before a possible future bearish continuation. The only way for this pair really become bearish and not like a short-term bearish like it was from here to here is the fact that it has to start creating lower lows, and it didn't. It still didn't, not on the daily, not on the 4-hour chart, and that's basically a warning sign. So we can see this pair respecting its action zones and taking us towards the next critical area to squeeze again, maybe to erase some stop losses already there as well. Next on the list is the dollar yen. Now this one we are bearish for a while now due to this daily range, and we can see that we have reached the first target, which was the 38.2 of this move. It was right here, and now we are getting lower lows. That's a critical sign for us. So I would summarize and sell as long as this high holds. I would be looking to sell rallies. Yep, rallies could come, and especially they could come from such action zones like here and like here. I do think it could squeeze here, or even one more low to be created before we actually get the correction. But we do have this cycle down in this leg, and now this leg developing. So I believe we will be exposed to some kind of correction, or from here, or from one more low. We should be exposed to some correction before any possible continuation. And you can see also in terms of the statistic end of the month, 30, and the beginning of the next month, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 7th, that's where the bottom should be created. So if we actually have this movement, that would be great time to start looking for the buys, corrections buys, right? So that's a really great one to follow. Aussie dollar is doing exactly what we wanted on the previous week. It bounced exactly from the zone we were expecting to. It was the bank zone around the 0.75. This is the critical area that was in our list right here. We bounced exactly from there. This is a very powerful candle patterns here with a false break and an engulfing, really beautiful. and 20s was our critical bearish view here. So for this pair I am only bearish, of course, only bullish, sorry, and it could be in two waves. One, we get one more fake breakout here and bounce all the way to the upside. Two, that on the lower time frame we start to create this triple cycle. 1, 2, 3. We get 1, 2 here, and then with the breakout we go and continue all the way further. So generally for me it's only buys or two waves and breakout, or if it creates alternatively one more low, one more false break, and again rebuys from the next critical action zones, as we can see right here, something like the 0.75 zone again. The next one on the list is the CAD franc. Critical opportunity from my point of view is coming on the short term. I believe this pair continues its bearish run. I believe we are going to the zone of 0.76 or 0.75, where from we should get ready for possible flies, because the weekly and the monthly are very bullish there. So it is yet bearish, but we do need to start pay attention for these areas right here and right here. We have the 200 moving average also in between critical zones. Remain bearish on the short term, so I do expect, as long as we don't create a breakout like for higher highs, something like that, as long as it didn't happen, every rally is still a sell opportunity to reach these zones I've been talking about, the 0.76-ish up to down to 0.75. Euro yen is my next list, and this is where it comes critical. Euro yen, we were bearish, but we do have to respect this bounce in the range. It looks like we are going to the 138. So what we need to see here is the break of this trend line, higher highs to be gained. If that happens, Euro yen most likely going all the way to new highs like 138, 139 zone. And same I believe could happen with the pound yen, a pair that I have been bearish, riding all these beautiful move down here on this range. That was really critical, classical. As long as we don't have higher highs, the pressure remains bearish. But we can see that it has hard time around this action zone, the 148 zone. And if it does create higher highs, it's time to look for the buys, maybe for second leg of this, back to 152 or so. So remain bullish if we create higher highs on this pair, bearish if not, and we break officially below these lows, because that could be opener to the next critical action zones around the 147, 145. Next one on the list is the oil, which is an amazing opportunity. We are in critical zone around the 60. Now I say around because 60 is a very psychological area. We have a meeting point of two cycles here, this one and this one. It's amazing area. Also the revisit of the weekly highs. Now we have a OPEC meeting this week, at the beginning of the week, so you have to pay attention to it, guys. And let me actually show you. This is what we have here. It will happen on the on Wednesday. Okay, the whole day. We do need to pay attention on this event. Of course, we also need to pay attention, if I already in the event, yeah, to bank stress results in Britain. That what should be a very, very interesting event for us this this week. So as per oil, 60 is a very critical zone. This is where I expect a bearish action to start. Especially we need to pay attention to OPEC, because it's neither going and false breaking here, start to make a retrace down, or simply flies and takes us towards 70 through that. As for now, there are no bearish evidences on the oil. We can see that here there are no lower lows, only higher highs, higher lows, right? This is what happens here. But we do need to pay attention to this divergence developing on a critical area. So what could happen here is we can start seeing here some false breaks. Let me show that. Here we can start to see some false break on this area, and if we do, it could be 2 or 3 in a row to erase the stop losses. After the false break, what we are expecting here is lower lows. Once we get that, we can start looking for the sells. Alternatively, on the lower time frames, like the 4-hour or the 1-hour chart, we should start to be able to see from this zone 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and breakout. If that happens, that's an alternative call from the market. Be ready for a bearish move. Really, really powerful, really want to follow. S&P, I've been looking for sell opportunities from previous week to break below the trend line. Never happened. The divergence is still here. So we do need to break this trend line, or alternatively to start and create lower lows before we are jumping in the sells. Not there yet, but the divergence and the levels are screaming something is going to happen. Japanese Nikkei, this is a very great opportunity for us here. If it managed to do this range breakout and a false break here somewhere, that could be a great trend line to mark and look for a sell continuation. So keep an eye on this. This is a critical zone for action, for bearish action. And now this is the S&P trend that I wanted to show you, of course. Here, that's where we need to go. Okay, create a false break, start to create lower lows, which are currently here, or alternatively 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and breakout. Then we restart to look for the sells. As long as it didn't happen, no bearish evidence. And a bit of cryptocurrencies. Ripple, you know, I am bullish here and I expect that to continue. Break above this trend line would be critical call. But as long as we have higher lows going here, every retrace, as long as the low holds here, is a buy opportunity. And it was running beautifully around 7 to 10% this last weeks. And now the Bitcoin, after breaking the new high, continuing, and I expect it to continue probably to the critical zone, psychological zone of 10,000. As for now, no bearish evidences. The only bearish evidence that could be here is a false break and a lower low. If it happens, classical. If not, no bearish evidence at all. This is the Ethereum, which also broke the little range here. We've been talking about it 2 weeks ago, and then they broke this one. And we can see, we wanted to see that happens. It happens. This is a classical breakout. We are now on 462. 500 seems like a reasonable target for that, for psychological zone. Stay bullish. Every retrace at this stage is a buy opportunity. Same for the Litecoins, which are going high and most likely going to revisit previous high and break it. So as long as we keep the trend line here and the trend line here going up, every pullback is yet a buy opportunity. So that's basically all, and thank you for your time once again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed my opportunities. It would be really great if you hit the like button and leave your feedback, leave your comment, and also let me know what instruments you want me to include in the next videos, what would be beneficial and helpful for you, so I can do it for you and include what you need. If you have any questions about anything I discussed in this video, or you want more pairs, then please leave the feedback and the comment below. And of course, I invite you to my club, where I have two daily basis live trading rooms, one with myself, one with my chief trader. We do twice per day, European and the US session, going over all the opportunities, analyzing them, and trade it together with our trading reports, directions, and setups. So that's all. Thank you very much once again. I wish you a wonderful week to come and happy weekend if you watch this video during the weekend. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Yours, Vladimir Ribakov.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time. We invite you to join the #1 ranked trading club online, the Traders Academy Club, and to start trading like a real professional. Our students make amazing returns, and you can do too. Let your successful trading journey begin. Join Traders Academy Club using the link below this video now.